What's up guys, this is Steve and today I'm going to show you my build up for Raidraptors as it stands at the moment. Hasn't really been updated yet to this is for the most part uh, pre-Dimension of Chaos. Uh, yeah. So I'm just gonna go jump into what's in the deck. Uh, 3 Tribute Lineas. Now TCG doesn't have these yet, which is an annoyance because this is a really helpful, really good level 4 for Raidraptors. I'll go through some plays later on as to why this works. It says Impale here, but it's actually in TCG. Sharp Lanius, I'm running at 2. They're not 3 because, yeah, they're at 1700 attack. And you can summon monsters. But it's a bit slow because you have to do it in your main phase 2. And as well as that, I don't like the effect of Sharp that puts a monster to defense position. I think it's counterproductive to the rest of the deck. If anything, these might be what I take out for Skull Eagles later on. Harpists for the search. Sacred Cranes for +1 draws with Swallow's Nest. And those are helpful. Just extra draws are a really good plus. Whatever you do. Vanishing Lanius, it's the best level 4 in the deck. It's the best main deck Raidraptor. This is what sets up your plays. This is what helps your swarms. Starts your swarms up, and trust me to suddenly get popular while I'm recording a video. Yeah, but these help your setup. There's so many different things you can do with this, and there's no basically you're always going to be running Vanishing Lanius at 3, no matter what Raidraptor build you do. You're running this at 3, always. Obviously, it made even more sense in the anime to have this running at 3, because things like Nest had a slightly different effect. I think Readiness had a different effect in the anime, and Raidraptors early on, when Shun first used them, the effect of Vanishing Lanius was just to summon another Vanishing Lanius. Then all the monsters had to be the same name for some effects to go off. Same with the card we don't have yet. I'm hoping it might be in Wing Raiders. If that gets a TCG release, I'll be happy. A card called Dimension Xyz, where if you've got 1,000 or less life points, you can use monsters from your graveyard to Xyz material. Mimicry Lanius is in here too, also at 3. It's on summon effect is 50-50, really. If you want to go straight forth and make a Blaze Falcon, great. But really, this thing shines most because of its in the graveyard effect to get another Raidraptor into your hand from your deck. Fuzzy Lanius is a free monster. And there's again this is another instance of having 2 fantastic effects on the one card. Number 1 is to just summon if you have a Raidraptor. If you've already got a Raidraptor monster, this is a free summon. But as well as that, it's on the turn it's sent to the graveyard, you can then get another one to your hand. But the drawback to this is that you can only summon special summon Raidraptor monsters on the turn you use that effect. So that's okay. Allure's good because just about everything here, aside from these four, are dark. You know? Of your 18 monsters, 14 of them are dark. You know? Instant fusion, that makes no den, which you then grab any of the monsters, absolutely any monster that's in the graveyard. This is especially good if you just use a Swallow's Nest to do something, because then you know you've got a monster in the graveyard. Raigeki, because Raigeki. Rank up Magic Astral Force. This is a really good choice of rank ups to use because although it's not a quick play, unlike most of the Raidraptor specific rank ups, this one lets you go 2 ranks higher. And since every Raidraptor card, Raidraptor monster anyway, be it main deck or Xyz, is a Darkwing Beast, you know that Astral Force can always do something. And with Devil Eagle coming out in Dimension of Chaos, there isn't really any jump that can't be made. Because if you've got Devil Eagle, you can use this to jump straight to Blaze Falcon. Rise Falcon and Force Strix can go straight to Revolution Falcon. Revolution Falcon can even go up to Satellite Cannon Falcon once that card's out. So the only thing that you'd be stuck on would be Blaze Falcon, and even then you've got these two. They can go Blaze to Revolution. Foolish Burial, this is great for the same reason as Tribute Lanius. Sending things like Mimicry and Fuzzy to your graveyard, where they can get fantastic effects off. It's just a really good choice. MST, obviously backward removal. Forbidden Lance is because Raidraptors are really, really good and they have really powerful effects, but they're not very sturdy. They're very, very glass cannony. I mean things like Vanishing Lanius unless 1300, 1100. I mean 1800's good, 1700, and then 500. They're not very sturdy. So things like Forbidden Lance help to minimize the amount of damage you take. Rank up Magic Raptor Force is good to pull out something out if it's a counter attack for if one of your Xyzs gets destroyed. Revolution Force, you know, I don't find myself using this a lot, but it is a good It is a good tech to have just in case you do suddenly want to go. It's a counter for things like Silent Honor Arc, really, and Castell, because if they target. Say if they target your Blaze Falcon, you can just chain that and go for Revolution Falcon, and suddenly they've lost their target. Swallow's Nest, like I said, your best play with this is to go from Harpist to Crane, because you get the draw for Crane, then you get the search off a Harpist, sorry. Nest, it's a really good searcher. It's a really, really strong searcher for Raidraptors. You do have to have 2 on the field to use its effect. 2 Raidraptors on the field to activate its effect, but the amount of swarming that you can get with Raidraptor monsters means that's not hard at all. Raidraptor Readiness, that's protection. It's a battle trap, protection. Monsters you can't control, Raidraptors you control can't be destroyed by battle, and then if it's in your graveyard you can banish it to take no damage. Bottomless is just bottomless. Icarus attack, because every single thing in this deck aside from some of the Xyz monsters, is a winged beast. So you've definitely got something to tribute, and again, that's another way to get monsters in the graveyard to summon back with no den. Compulse, good for things that can't be destroyed. If you're facing Yang Zing and they've made a monster that can't be destroyed by battle, using, I think it might be Beyond, I can't remember, I'd have to check, but I think it's Beyond that does that one. Then you've got the Compulse. Raptor's Gust is spell or trap negation. And Solemn Warning, just again another card like that. So Solemn Warning just negate a summon. So that's the main deck. Going to the extra deck, Norden is because that's I can't tell you how many times that I've used Instant Fusion, pull this out, get a level 4 monster from graveyard, straight into 4 Strix, and get a search off. Revolution Falcon. Now, of the Raidraptor monsters that are available, I think this one's my favourite because its effect is just ridiculous. I'll just go here. If this bit at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a face-up special summon monster, that monster's attack and defense becomes 0. Basically, nowadays, most things are special summon. I mean, you look at all the top tier decks of the last year. Burning Abyss, yep, mostly special summon. Shadow, all fusion, and floating. Clifford is Pendulum, and then it's Satellar Knight, obviously Deltoros, Ptolemaeus, Triver. Setting up the combos with Deneb, Altair, and Vega. But I mean now Cyframes are out, Infernoids are out, all this special summoning, and Revolution Falcon just looks at any special summon monster and goes, nope, your attack's 0 now. So yeah, Blaze Falcon. It's not my favourite Raidraptor. Exists now. I love all Raidraptor monsters. I adore them. I don't even think honestly, I'm not even bragging or joking when I say I honestly believe I like Raidraptors more than anyone else at all. But Blaze Falcon, I struggle to ever use this. It's there in case I can find a use for it, but most of the time I'll just jump from Strix or Rise straight to Revolution using Astro Force. Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon's here because it's another card I really like. When I first saw Yuto, obviously it's documented about how I took a shine to him straight away. Obviously, in recent times, Shun has overtaken Yuto as favourite character, but definitely got a special place in my heart for Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. But because I still do cosplay as Yuto. Numbers 101, Silent Honor Arc. Detach, target, and steal your opponent's special summon monster. Much the same as Revolution Falcon. Everything is special summon these days, so this is just too good. Zero Fine, once per turn, detach. Negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. If you do this card, gain 3 to attack for each face-up card currently on the field. So yeah. Castell, because Castell, Exiton. Um, really, I don't think I'll keep this in here much longer because with swarming, um, with the swarming that Raidraptors does, it's not always the case that you're gonna be unless that you're gonna be minused to your opponent. So you're probably not gonna use Exiton much, but it's here in an emergency situation. 3 Strix because they're searchers, they're easily made. These are the easiest to make in the Raidraptors arsenal, and then you can just start using the effects, the detach effects to search out more Raidraptors, or yeah, and then you can rank up perfectly with these. Rise Falcon, because this is amazing. the now that we're on this, I can show you the best, a really good way to do this. And basically, you want to the ideal thing is to open up with one copy of Vanishing Radiance and one copy of Tribute Lanius in your hand. You can use Vanishing Lanius. You can normal summon that for your turn. Normal summon for the turn. You activate its effect. You summon Tribute Lanius. Tribute Lanius' effect will then activate, allowing you to put to Foolish Burial a Raidraptor monster. A Raidraptor card, even. Any Raidraptor card, but the best ones are either Mimicry or Fuzzy. Both will actually have the same effect. Fuzzy, Mimicry, obviously you can just banish to pull back to search out Fuzzy and put it in your hand, or Fuzzy straight to the graveyard, grab yourself another Fuzzy. It's up to yourself which one you do. No, personally I'd suggest putting Mimicry because then you've got more Fuzzies to pull in your hand. Yep. That's that. Okay. Side deck, only at 14. I need to. All I'll probably do is put something from in here into here once I'm upgrading this deck. BLS, it's not in the main deck because I've only sided it because there, as it stands, there's only 2 light monsters in the whole deck, so it's not very easy to make. Even looking in the extra deck, there's only Exiton is the only other light. So yeah, three lights in the whole deck. Zephyros is in the side deck. Again, that's you side out if you have a rough first game, you can side out pull Zephyros. Obviously that can then go into your graveyard, and then you can return something you control to the field to your hand, and then do that. 2 Singing Lanius, which you can just special summon from your hand when you control an Xyz monster, but really it doesn't really make much difference in game other than having another level 4 monster to pull off another Xyz with. Xyz Shift, which is tribute 1 Xyz monster and then special summon from your accident 1 monster with the same type, activate an extra one, and rank. Basically that's a chance to go from 4 Strix to Rise Falcon, but the only reason you do that is if you had trouble getting your 3rd Xyz material, and it would be a lot better if Rise Falcon had kept its anime power, but seeing as it took a severe nerf for the TCG, it's not as great. Pot of Duality is really, it's not great for this deck for the actual main deck, because of how much special summoning you want to do. Over time, you want to be able to swarm out with this Swallow's Nest to get your stuff, and there's too much special summoning that goes on to really think about pot duality too much. Third MST is in there. Card Trader. I've always been a fan of using this card. Just because, you know, sometimes you have a brick hand, and this really gives you a chance to sort out that. Stroke Challenge just makes things funny. This is better in my Black Garden build. Just because you put this on Rise Falcon and everything just gets wrecked, to be honest. Readiness, more readiness is in here. If you then you can side out if you're taking too many attacks. Xyz Reborn, because that'll probably switch out soon once I've got Soul Shave Forces and stuff to put in here, because basically 9 times out of 10, once again, you want to have your, if you're going to bring your Raidraptors back from the graveyard, you're probably going to use one of their rank ups and make it bigger. I really don't see why. I really don't know if having Xyz Reborn makes a difference, because if you've got if an Xyz monster has made it to your graveyard, then something's happened to it that it can't get over on its own steam. So pulling it back to suffer the same fate isn't as great as the idea of things like Raptor Force, Soul Shave Force, which then make it stronger. What's this one? Raidraptor Return. If you lose a Raidraptor monster by battle, you get to put one into your hand from your graveyard, and if a Raidraptor is destroyed by a card effect, you can banish it from graveyard and get one from your deck. Get a Raidraptor card from deck to hand. And then Vanities. So Vanities is just like, you set yourself up, you do all your setup, and then your opponent can't. Again, it's inside deck for this because while you do, obviously you want to control the game, but with Raidraptors you need your opponent to be able to do something. You don't want to. Raidraptors is very much not a deck where you're essentially playing solitaire. This deck, unlike some decks, relies a lot on your opponent actually being able to do something. You want your opponent to be able to make the plays. So, yeah. That's my Raidraptor deck. Once Dimension of Chaos is out, Breakers of Shadows out, Wing Raiders, if the TCG is going to get it, this deck will take a heavy upgrade. Sharps might come out for Devil Eagles. I don't know if I'm going to use Wild Vultures, though, because Wild Vulture, while being level 6, its effect to just tribute it and summon 2 Raidraptor monsters whose levels equal 6. Really, the only play is to pull out 2 Skull Eagles. And yeah, Devil Eagle is a good card, though. So I don't know who we're using that, but there's Last Strix coming as well. And yeah. Other than that, I'd probably replace probably replace one of these with that Soul Shave Force card to be able to make Satellite Cannon Falcon. It'll probably be this one that I drop out for that. Probably take an Exiton because again, I don't find myself minus far too often. But at the same time, it might be worth. I'm thinking about possibly dropping. Well, that said, keep Zero Fine in there. But drop Silent on Arc for a second Castell. Because really, if I put in Exiton Knight, and Dark Rebellion and 101 are the only non-winged beast Xyz monsters, and if I can keep it mono winged beast, then there's room in here for Solidarity. There's things like other cards that Shun has used in the anime that aren't specifically Raidraptors. They're Xyz things. One called Rescue Xyz, which if your opponent's taking control of some of your monsters, you can take them back straight away to use as things. There's I've forgotten what it's called at the moment that allows you to declare a level and all monsters at that level on the field become winged beast. Shun used that in the episode against the prison security, when they were all using their Goyos, and he whipped them all out with Rise Falcon. There's Raidraptor Call. There's the Target Flag, which Shun used in his duel against Dennis. There's a lot of Raidraptors still to come in the forthcoming sets, and things are always going to change, and it is going to be quite a evolution of how Raidraptors will play over time, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. And obviously I'm hoping to be pioneering these changes as for Raidraptors, because from what I can see, they've never impacted on OCG at all, and I don't think many people are paying them very much attention in either OCG or TCG as a result. Despite the fact that if you watch Arc 5, Shun has one of the most impressive win-loss records going at the moment so far. He's only lost once, and it's not as if he hasn't been dueling. It's not like he's Yuto, where he only really had 2 or 3 duels, lost one and then disappeared. Shun has actually dueled quite a significant number of times in the series, and his duels have always been highlights. Just you consider his first duel against Yaiba, Hokuto, and I've forgotten her name. Gem Knight girl. I know her name, and it's completely gone from my head. But yeah, them the LDS kids, shall we call them? Yeah, Masumi. That's it. Masumi, Hokuto, and Yaiba. When Shun took all 3 of them on in episode 24 and just wrecked all 3 of them. Then his next duel, I think, is against Sora, and obviously that's the reveal about what Sora is. That's Sora's big heel turn, so to speak. After that, he's got some other. You see his matches play out. You get his battle royale stuff. Then he has the rematch with Sora, which is the one he lost because of Fright for Tiger. You've got his other duel, his first duel with Dennis. His really monstrous duel with Dennis. The aforementioned one in the prison. You've got the time when he showed up when there was like massive tag dueling going on all over the place in the battle royale, where it was like 3 obelisk force versus what ended up I think being 5-on-3 with Tsukikage, Selena, Gongizaka, Sawatari and Shun versus Obelisk Force, where Shun's the one that delivers the finishing blow, pendulum summoning 3 wild vultures to go straight into Revolution Falcon and just wreck everything. It was glorious. He has some fantastic duels, and the writers seem to be making him a little less ruthless and they seem to be dumbing him down, which is a shame, but they make up for it, in my opinion, by giving him these fantastic duels to play with. And I think these fantastic duels are why I love this Raidraptor archetype so much, because they're always so fantastic, and they're always so they're the most exciting duels, I find. And if we go back to the anime for a sec, and Yuya's always saying, "Oh, this isn't my style of dueling. I want to make people smile." That ain't what Shun's about, and this is not what entertainment dueling is not what will happen if Shun Kurosaki is dueling. And the one I really can't wait for, because it has to happen. It really has to happen at some point because of the history. We need Shun versus Yuri to happen, just because Shun is gonna be furious. And I think that might be another loss for Shun. Because I don't think anyone will beat Yuri until Yuya faces him. And what will probably happen is that Shun will lose his focus because of how angry he is about Yuri kidnapping Ruri, and then that'll happen. But interestingly, episode 81 preview shows that that Shun's next round duel in the Friendship Cup is actually versus Crow. So we're going to get Raidraptor versus Blackwing, Winged Beast Xyz archetype versus Winged Beast Synchro archetype, in a matchup that as soon as I found out that Crow was going to reappear in Arc 5, I said to a few friends, they have got to have Shun versus Crow, or Shun and Crow teaming up to face somebody, because of the interactions, because of all the birds. And they're doing it. They're giving us Shun versus Crow turbo duel in this round of the Friendship Cup. And I not just because I love Raidraptors, I think Shun will probably take the win, because I think what's going to happen is, this is my prediction, and I know I'm deviating from the deck profile vid here. My prediction for the rest of the Friendship Cup is, I think obviously, Yuza's just been knocked out by Sergei. Next is Yuya versus Shinji. And like I said, we already know that Shun versus Crow. So that means Yugo is going to face Serena. So how I think this is gonna go is Yuya is gonna win. I think Yuya's gonna beat Shinji. I think this is where that synchro magician that he's supposed to get very soon. I think that's where that's gonna come into play. I think Yugo will probably beat Serena, and Shun will beat Crow. Now, the reason I think this is going to happen is because I think I think, well, we've got two options. For Yuya to face Sergei as a sort of revenge for what happened to Yuzu, or we will then have Yuya versus Shun, and during that, I think Yuto will appear to Shun and say, "Look, buddy, I know you're fighting, and I know that you think you're doing the right thing, but that fury of mine that you mentioned when you were destroying Dennis, I'm not mad like that. You've misunderstood me." And I think that's going to be a revelation for Shun, that he's going about things the wrong way. So that could happen, but at the same time we could just get Psycho Yuya pissed off at Sergei because of Yuzu. But there is the fact that Yugo will probably beat Serena, because I'm looking, and the reason I think that is just because I think it's going to end up, the final of the actual Friendship Cup, I think is going to end as Yuya versus Yugo. And I've thought that for the whole time, just because I think this Friendship Cup has gone on a bit longer than was intended to. Because if you remember the third opening, Hanate, that ends almost with Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon facing off against Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and that hasn't happened, and I think that's what it's gonna build up to. So, I mean, it's the way I see it is, if Yuya could face Shun and have all that I mentioned, and Yugo can be the one to face Sergei, and Yuya can do that synchronized thing with Yugo like he did in his match against Sawatari, and this time we'll get angry Yuya synchronized with Yugo, and then that can happen. Then obviously Sergei's knocked out, and Yuya knocks out Shun, and then you've got Yuya and Yugo in the final. Yuya wins that, faces Jack again, and then you have that's how the synchro thing finishes. And around the time near then is when Academia decides to show up, and yeah, and you've got the war, where I'm not sure where Roger's going to stand on that at the moment, because he's decided he doesn't want to just invade Synchro for the sake of a fusion dimension. He wants Synchro all to himself. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I've sort of deviated off topic now, quite some time ago. But yes, this is my deck profile and my thoughts on how Arc 5 will go for the next couple of months anyway. So thanks for watching, everyone, and if you guys want to think of any changes to make to the deck, please try and keep it to what is in TCG for the most part. Obviously I know I've got Tribute and 4 Strix, but can we I'd like it if we didn't include anything that's not in if we could just keep it to Clash of Rebellion, up to Clash of Rebellion, and not have Dimension of Chaos or Breakers of Shadow or Wing Raiders yet, especially Wing Raiders, considering that it's not entirely confirmed what's going to be in it yet. But yeah, definitely leave comments as to what you'd take out, what you'd change about the deck as it stands at the moment up to Clash of Rebellion. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.